and then bring your ankle to your opposite hip. Oftentimes I'll do this dynamic warm-up, or at least a portion of it, before I go out to surf. It's a great one to do before you play soccer, golf, tennis. Reach for the sky. Feel that stretch across the front of your body. Make sure you're going up on your toes and back down. Challenges your balance. All right, next we're going to do a fairly complicated lunge. If your body's not ready for this, do a modified version of it, less range of motion, or literally just do a lunge. All right, so we're going to put your elbow down by your ankle. Try to get it all the way to the floor. Bring your hand around, rock back. Toes up in the front, both knees get straight. Bend both knees, power forward. Make sure that you're popping through, driving your hips through. Common mistakes people will make, they will do something like this, or they won't get full hip extension, they'll be here. Make sure you're coming all the way through, getting full hip extension. If you're a runner, or if running is a part of your sport, work on getting your toes up, knees up, toes up. If you're a surfer and you do airs, then do the same thing, because it's going to help promote some of that muscle memory that we want. Okay, then we're going to switch sides. Driving that elbow, try to get it to the ground. Rocking back, both legs get as straight as possible. As you drive up, knees up, toes up. That wasn't a good example. And make sure that you're getting full hip extension, meaning you're popping through. This is what's going to improve your balance, flexibility, and strength. Getting that pop through with the hip, really important for most sports. If you do this dynamic warm-up 3 to 5 times a week, in about 4 to 6 weeks, you will notice a significant change in your balance, flexibility, and strength. As you do these lunges, think about keeping your knee in line with your second toe. If this feels pretty easy for you, then imagine you're on a tightrope. Bring your feet closer together. Challenge yourself that way. So I'll show you from the front. This is much more challenging. And if you want to, you can also increase the challenge by doing this walking across a gym. And this one I like to have people do backward. So you walk across your living room. You might only be able to do a few steps. That's all right. Okay, so we're going to switch legs. Or if you're alternating, go ahead and keep alternating. Make sure you're looking at your hand, because that's going to challenge your VOR reflex, which is going to help you in surfing if you do airs. It can help gymnasts know where they are in space when they're doing their activities. And it's good for any sport where you need to track, say, a ball, or know where you are in space as you're moving. Okay. Next, we're going to move into a side lunge. So for your side lunge, make sure you keep your knee in line with your second toe. Sit up tall, shoulders and hips staying in alignment. Don't let your toes point out to the side. Make sure your toes are pointing straight ahead. Knee in line with your second toe. Shoulders and hips in alignment. You're going to power off of the bent leg. Make sure all of the power is coming from your bent leg, not the straight leg. Only bend your knee as far as you can, maintaining the proper alignment. I'm going to switch sides. Keep your knee in line with your second toe. We're powering off that bent knee. Here I was getting a little bit sloppy. Keep your knee in, or your shoulders and hips in alignment. Make sure this knee is staying in line with the second toe. Good. Next, we're going to do a quick review on proper knee alignment. For those of you who are new, you want to make sure your knee is in line with your second toe whenever we're doing any kind of power activity, which would include going up and down stairs, squats, lunges, all that stuff. So, put your hand on your hip, let your knee just relax, okay, and then bring your knee in line with your second toe and you'll feel the muscles on the side of your hip turn on, okay, and then relax. So, we want the knee in line with your second toe. You'll also notice that at a relaxed state, the arch is a little bit flat, which is good and normal. And then if you activate the muscles on the outside of your leg, it also pulls in other muscles in your lower leg that stabilize your arch. So your arch is going to lift because all of that whole chain is supposed to work together. All right. If you have really weak muscles on the outside of your leg or in your arch, it's not going to work as well together. You might need to work on strengthening those. One really good way to strengthen those is using barefoot science insoles. All right, so we're going to get our knee in line with our second toe, and we're reaching down. Some of you are only going to be able to go to your knee and have proper technique. Some of you can go all the way down to your ankle, but you've got to keep your back straight. The key is keep your back straight and kick that other leg up high. The pelvis should stay totally parallel with the floor. And this is where the Zoom class can be very helpful because I'll be able to watch and make sure that you're doing this correctly. Because if you're not doing it correctly, then you could actually injure yourself, but you're definitely not going to get the full benefit that you would if you were doing it correct. Okay, you're going to get your knee in line with your second toe. Some of you, again, are just going to be able to go as far as your knee. My right leg's a little bit impaired today because last weekend I didn't put enough wax on my board. And I totally slipped, did the splits, strained my adductor right here. It actually bruised, that's how bad I strained it. But I still managed to land on my board, stayed on the wave, and then I was able to get back up to my feet. So I'm proud of that, but I've had to kind of ease off on my activities this week a bit, do a lot of self-care for my adductor so it can heal up. It did a good job for me, but it needs a little TLC now. All right, so then next one, you're going to switch legs and we're going to reach and come back. I want my hair to be free. Okay, so we're going to reach and back. Woo, reach. So you're working on balance here, maintaining proper alignment. In yesterday's class, we did a version of this that helps to stretch your back feels amazing. So if you're really struggling with this, and you're at home and you have a chair, you can put the chair and reach for the chair, pull down into the chair. So you're pulling into the chair and pulling away from it at the same time. And then use your glutes to pull yourself up. Don't push off of the chair. Whew. Use your glutes to pull yourself up. Work on all of those technique things. So keeping your knee in line with your second toe, toes spread, gripping the ground, making sure that pelvis is staying level with the ground. It's a little harder for me on this leg because of that injury to my adductor, but this is good rehab for it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do our inchworm. So you're going to walk your hands out, squeeze those shoulder blades together, push up, walk your hands back, let your head hang down, do a little shake here, even just shake your shoulders, let your upper back and your neck relax. Walk those hands back out, squeeze those shoulder blades together, push up. Now we're going to walk our feet to our hands. Let that head hang down. Get a nice stretch. Oh, I've got to plug in my computer. I thought I did. And then you're going to walk your feet to your hands. Your feet back out. And we're going to walk our hands to our feet again. A little shake here. Walk your hands out. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, push up. Walking your feet to your hands. Think of driving your heels to the ground. Feel that stretch from heel to hip. Again, shake your head, shake your shoulders. Just let any tension release there. Walking your feet back, driving your heels to the ground the whole time so you get that stretch from heel to hip. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, push up. Walking your hands back. Again, a little shake here. Walk your hands out. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, push up. Walk your feet to your hands. Again, a little shake here. Walk your feet back, driving your heels to the ground. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, push up. Walking your hands back to your feet. Doing the hand walks helps to strengthen your serratus anterior, which is an important stabilizing muscle of your shoulder. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. This is also serratus anterior activation. Push up. Walking your feet to your hands, stretching that posterior myofascial line. Thinking of feeling that stretch. Notice the stretch from heel to hip. And then walk the feet back. Squeezing your shoulder blades together. Push up. And we're walking hands to feet. Feel that stretch from heel to hip. Walking your hands back out. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Push up. Walking feet to hands. Again, feeling that stretch from heel to hip. Walk your feet back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Push up. Walking your hands to your feet. Another little shake. Shake out your wrists, elbows, shoulders, head. And then we're going to roll back up. And we're done with our dynamic warm-up. Well done. All right. So our next exercise is going to challenge your stability muscles, little stabilizers of your back. So we're going to put some mini bands above your knee. And if you don't have mini bands, you can do this without. You'll still get some activation. I'm using 2 yellow because that's the equivalent, basically a little bit heavier than a green. But if you you could use just 1 band. All right, we're going to use a foam roller, any roller that you've got, as a tool to let you know if you're doing this exercise correctly. So it's going to sit in the small of your back, and you want the small of your back to have a little arch. Okay? There should be a small little arch to hold that roller, and we're going to draw the abs in. If you're not sure what I mean by that, make a shh sound, and that will draw in your abs, unless your nervous system's really backward. So if you're not sure if that's happening, then you can put your hand on your belly, make a shh sound, and you should feel the abs draw in. And if they're not drawing in, think about it, and think about sucking in your abs as you do this, because that's going to activate transverse abdominis and lumbar multifidi, which are two muscles we are targeting with this exercise. We're also targeting muscles on the side of our hip. Okay, so squeeze the shoulder blades together, abs in, and we're going to rotate your leg out to the side. And I don't want to see any, or I want to see very little wobble of the roller. We're going to do 3 of those. Okay, and then we're going to switch. Very little roller wobble. That's how we know. And if you're moving your left leg out to the side, you should feel your weight being distributed between your right leg and your left hand. All right, we're going to switch now to moving your right leg out to the side, and we're going to go back slightly. So we're getting a little bit lower with our spinal stabilizers. So now we're targeting kind of like the middle of those spinal stabilizers, the middle of your lower back. Where before we were doing the upper part of the lower back. And I switched. We're doing 3 each side. Okay, and now we're going to go lower. So we're going out to the side, but reaching back. Out to the side, reach back. Okay, and then we're going to switch. Out to the side and reaching back. Good. Okay, now we can take the bands off, and we're going to do our tiger prowl. So for the tiger prowl, you're going to be on your toes like this. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your hips low. Okay? And you're going to move very slowly, very deliberately like a tiger, keeping those hips low. And then we're going to move backward, which is not easy. Keep your hips low, and then work forward. Again, keeping the hips low. And Christine, I actually can't see you. If you want to change that, all I see is your hand. We're just going back and forth. Keep those hips nice and low. Okay, we're going to go back to our fire hydrant. So we want the bands above your knee. Or band or bands. Okay, so again, using a foam roller or a broomstick to give you some feedback. You want to have a neutral spine, which means there's a little divot for that roller to rest in. Woo, didn't put it in the right spot. Abs in. And we want minimal movement of that roller. We're going straight out to the side 3 times. Each side. And then we're going out and slightly back. Same thing on the other side. Then we're going to go out and back further. If you want to see improvement in this or any exercise, then you've got to do it at least twice a week. 3 times is better for faster progress. And the first 2 weeks of doing an exercise is purely your nervous system getting better at it, getting more efficient. And it takes 6 weeks for your body to build muscles, to actually build size, build in the capillaries to support the extra size and functionality of that muscle. So it takes time. Okay, we're going to prowl again, keeping those hips low. Keep your hips low. And the idea is to move slow. Nice and slow. We're developing power and push through the core and through your deep front line. Keep going. Keep those hips nice and low. All right, good job. Now, if you have a pool noodle or foam roller, that'll work for this next exercise. So you're going to put your leg on it. If you don't have a pool noodle or a foam roller, you can do this without, or you can put your knee on something like maybe a pillow of some kind. So using the foam roller, there's just a lot more instability, which is kind of fun. So you're just going to have your toe on the ground. Okay, and we're going to go up and down. So my left leg is on the foam roller, and my toe is stabilizing. If you're small like me, going all the way to the ground might be just a little too far. So just dip down and up a little bit. Okay, if you're on a really thick roller like this. If you're doing it on a pool noodle, that's a different story. Then you can definitely go to the ground and up, no problem. Okay. I'm going to switch. So I still can't see you, Christine. If you want me to give you feedback, you'll have to tweak the camera. All right, we're going to have your knee in line with your other knee. Toe is gripping the ground to give you a little bit of stability. And I'm not going all the way to the ground on this because it's too much of a drop for me with my body mechanics, my body size. Right, next, we're going to move from your knees are right aligned next to each other. Okay, so they're aligned next to each other. You're going to go up, and then you're going to go back and out to the side, come down, back and out to the side. So it's a combo of what we just did. Okay, and then next we're going further out and back. Again, working on maintaining your pelvis in neutral. Maintain that neutral pelvis. Okay, we're going to switch sides. So it's just part way to the ground if you're on a big roller like this. And then we're going out. And just work on maintaining your pelvis level. Okay, we're going down, and now we're going out and slightly back. You can do this with adding a band as well to make it even more challenging. Now we're going out and straight back. So you're going out and back to get those lower spinal stabilizing muscles. Great. Okay, we're going to do a circuit with crunching, and we're going to work on strengthening our neck stabilizers with this. So as you rest on the ground, I first want you to notice your pelvis and how it's weighted to the ground. Okay, so it should feel even, right to left. And then we're going to press your head into the ground and tuck your chin at the same time. So your head is going to roll as you do that. Okay? So pressing your head into the ground, tucking your chin, head rolls. And then you're going to bring your chin to your chest. Continue bringing your chin to your chest. Hands coming up. And then we're going to go straight back and roll your head all the way down, especially the last little part. Continue to keep your neck tucked, your chin tucked as much as you can as you do it. Okay? Then we'll repeat. So first press your head into the floor as you roll. Okay? So plus you're going to press your head into the floor as you roll, and then keep tucking your chin as you come up. Good. Get the shoulder blades off the ground. And then you're going to tuck all the way down, keeping your chin to your chest for as long as you can without also shrugging your shoulders. Don't let that upper trap help. It wants to help. Okay? So keep your shoulders reaching down. So your hands reach down the whole time. Okay? So you're reaching down with your hands. Press your head into the floor, tucking your chin. Rolling up till your shoulder blades come off. And then tuck your chin, rolling down, reaching down at the same time so that you don't cheat. All right? Make sure you maintain a little arch in your lower back the entire time. And as you're rolling up, your abs should draw down and in so that we're getting all of our abs activated. So tuck your chin, reach with your hands. Keep reaching with your hands as you tuck your chin, coming back down. Okay, now we're going to go across. So you're going to tuck your chin, pressing your head against the floor, reach across, and then you're coming back and still reaching. As you tuck your chin, we'll switch. Press into the ground as you tuck your chin. Continue to tuck your chin as you lift up, reaching across. Come on down, reach, continue to reach as you tuck your chin, coming back down to neutral. We're going across again. We're going to do 2 more each side. So, really important to press your head back against the floor as you tuck your chin. And then keep tucking your chin as you lift up, reach across. When you come back to the middle, keep reaching down as you tuck your chin so that you're not cheating. Okay, so watch me as I go. Do this one. Press your head against the floor, tuck your chin, reaching across. Okay, and then before I start to come back down, I'm putting my hands on either side to make sure that I'm not cheating in any way. Okay, so let's do 1 more each side. You're going to tuck your chin, come up, reach across, bring your hands back around, tuck your chin all the way down. Okay, and pressing your head against the floor as you tuck your chin, lifting up, reaching across, bring your hands back to the middle, tuck your chin all the way down. So this works your longus colli, longus capitis, also some of your muscle stabilizer or neck stabilizers in the back. All right, we're going to do our front plank with a march. So you want to have shoulders squeezed together, abs in. And we're going to march our feet. Let's do 10 marches each leg. Keeping those abs in. This works muscles on the back of the body as well as the front. And oftentimes what's lacking in people's workout routines is proper or enough activation of the back of their body. We did a circuit yesterday in Total Body Reboot that really targeted the back of the body. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. Next one we're going to do, I'll show from the front. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, abs in. Go ahead and have your feet wide to start. And you're literally just going to pick up one hand at a time, okay? You can also do this on your forearms if that's too hard on your wrists. But what I want is that your pelvis is staying level. And this is another one where if you, so I can't see your pelvis, Christine, but if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you could totally think you're doing this right. And you're actually not, and you're really not benefiting yourself that much. But if you put something on your back, you'll know if your pelvis is moving. Forces you to keep the pelvis stable. So Christine, try doing it on your elbows, on your forearms. It'll be easier. So you definitely do a massive shift when you're lifting one of your arms. You feel that? So that's something to work on. And if you move your feet wider, it'll help. Okay? We'll come back to it. Don't worry, I'll get another try. It'll be easier on the next time. Usually the second time around in a circuit, it's easier. Okay, so you're going to have your knees stacked on top of each other, elbow in line with your shoulder. We're going to lift up and back down. Squeeze your butt, because if you don't squeeze your butt, you will still do this activity, but you'll be using your back muscles that are often overworked anyway, okay? But if you do this properly, you're going to get glute activation, you're going to get oblique activation. Okay, we're going to switch sides. Make sure you squeeze your butt. This exercise is good for stability of your core as well as your hips. You might notice one side is definitely a little bit weaker than the other. Okay, we're going to switch sides. This time, we're going to be up on our feet like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to reach under your body and come back up. Woo! You're going to reach under, come back up. Make sure that you're keeping your heel in contact with the ground the whole time. As you reach under, it's going to limit how far you can reach, but it's going to make you activate your glutes on the side more. All right, let's switch. Reaching under, keep your heel in contact with the ground. Think of squeezing your butt. My left side is definitely sleepier than my right, so I have to focus on squeezing it a little bit more. Okay, we're going to do our plank with a march again. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. March. Keep your abs in. So this workout, we did a lot more for the front of the body. And if you think, oh, I'll just do this workout all the time, it'll be enough. No. A better balance would be, if you were only going to do 2 workouts, a better balance would be to do the workout we did yesterday, as well as this workout on a weekly basis, if you're going to do that. All right, next, we're going to have your feet wide. You'll be on your elbows, and let's use a little roller friend to help you. Okay, so feet wide, abs in, and reach. The wider your feet are, the easier this is. If you want it to be harder, move your feet inward. So we're just reaching straight forward, Christine, straight forward. There you go. Nice. Okay, we're going to do another set of those modified side planks. Squeeze your butt as you lift up. Make sure you squeeze that butt. So Christine, I think you're in a rotation. So bring your shoulders so they're more in line. Yeah. Bring that top shoulder back more. Top shoulder back. Yep. There you go. That looks good right there. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze your butt. See, I've gotten in such good shape from teaching these classes 3 times a week. Now that's just easy. But I remember when I started teaching these classes, I was out of shape, and this exercise was hard. So that's my encouragement to you if you're starting out, or you're somewhere in the middle, and this is hard. It will get easier. Make sure you're not rotated as you're doing this. So top shoulder back a little more, Christine. Yep. There you go. Squeezing that butt as you come up. So this is an exercise for your glutes, but it's also to strengthen your obliques. And you're getting a little bit of quadratus lumborum with it as well. Okay. We did a lot on the floor today. Last exercise we're going to do is standing. So for this one, make sure you're keeping your knee in line with your second toe and move as slow as you need to have proper technique, okay? You're going to bend your knee and reach with your opposite hand. And if you're a runner, keep your elbows bent so that you can work on having proper technique. And we're keeping that knee in line with that second toe. And the other thing to think about, was toe up, knees up, toes up on the other side. Knees up, toes up. You can see I'm kind of wobbling all over the place. All right. If this gets easy, you can close your eyes. All right, we're going to switch. Make sure you're keeping your knee in line with your second toe. L brackets with your elbows. Knee in line with the second toe. Knee up, toe up on the other side. Woo! It's harder if you swing through. Again, keeping that knee in line with that second toe. And if you're not doing an exercise where you're standing on one leg, eyes closed, doing some kind of balance activity, you could do a 4-way hip to try to throw yourself off balance. You could do this exercise that we just did, eyes closed. So if you're not doing something like that on a weekly basis, then your training is lacking an important component, because part of your balance as an athlete, you need to be able to balance without using your vision to help you. So this is a good one once you have the technique down. Keep your knee in line with your second toe, and you know how that feels, and you know it's right because you've been practicing watching in a mirror. Then you can practice it with your eyes closed and work on improving your sport specific balance. All right, and if this is challenging for you, practice it more frequently so that you can improve, get your balance up to par. All right, let's do a little bit of stretching. We're going to do our sumo squat. So if you're new to the sumo squat, you can hold on to something to help you. You can do it for little intervals, like 30 seconds, okay, 20 seconds, however long your body can tolerate. If this pinches, if it hurts your back or your hip, then it means you probably want to give me a call and get a free consult, and let's talk about it, because you probably need more than this class to get past that. You might have tightness in your hip capsule. You may have a problem, some sort of tightness in your back. If the sumo squat is bothering you, you can hang out like this. But it's important to get to where you can tolerate a sumo squat comfortably. And the reason for that is because it really opens up your hips and your lower back, as well as strengthening. So it's strength with length. And a lot of times in Western society, much of the time, when someone has a hip replacement surgery, it's because they didn't get physical therapy soon enough, or they didn't have the right kind of physical therapy to address the problem. And what happened most of the time is the hip capsule got tight because it never got stretched out regularly. And then because the hip capsule was tight and the hip joint couldn't work in its full range, the joint surfaces rubbed against each other. It created osteoarthritis, wore out the joint, and now they need a hip replacement. So it's completely avoidable. And the best thing you could do is do a sumo squat every day so that you're keeping your hip mobility and your lower back mobility ideal. And if this is tough for you, you can work your way into it. And there's a bunch of ways that you can work your way into it. But oftentimes, if it pinches, somebody needs some high quality physical therapy to address what has built up over time, so that then you can maintain it and keep it healthy. All right. So other favorite stretches of mine after a workout like this, put your foot up on something like a chair, toe up. If you put it here, that's going to be too much strain on your knee. So toe up, you're going to get a stretch on that hamstring a little bit and a lot on the adductor. And also the femur is going to be gliding down into the hip socket. So that's going to improve your hip mobility, which is another good thing you can do for yourself to help your hips. You can turn your leg in and out, pump your ankle up and down, and what that does is it glides the sciatic nerve in its pathway. It's surrounded by connective tissue, and there can develop adhesions in the connective tissue. And one of the reasons that happens is because we're sitting a lot, and that's compressing that pathway. So we want to, on a regular basis, free up that area. Another stretch that's really good is just to face forward. Now you're getting all the hamstring muscles. You can turn your ankle in and out, pump your ankle up and down again to work that pathway for your sciatic nerve. You want to stretch out your shoulders and your back. This is a great stretch. You can move your hands to the side, either side. A lot of times people have chronic piriformis issues and they think they need to stretch their piriformis. Well, if you think you need to stretch your piriformis, probably your piriformis is not so much tight, but it's exhausted because it's doing the work other muscles are supposed to be doing. Piriformis syndrome, problems with the piriformis, is a symptom of problems elsewhere. So if you're having a chronic issue where you feel like you need to constantly do this stretch, then give us a call. I can give you some advice about which direction you might want to go to actually solve the root of that problem. Okay. All right. So thanks for joining on social media. Thanks for joining on YouTube and on Facebook. Great to have you guys. Love sharing ways that you can improve your performance with sport and prevent injury. So join me again when I'm live, and I'm going to follow up with my Zoom class, hear their aha moments, their takeaways. So goodbye for now on social media, and definitely check us out in our ease, pain, and stiffness class. All right, we'll be back. Let's see, today I think it's at 2:30 for ease, pain, and stiffness, and then there'll be another one at noon on Saturday. All right, so see you soon.